You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
Chris? Let me remove that. Solana, the Herons are back. Welcome to another episode of the Battered Herons podcast. I am your host, Chris Duran, and alongside me is none other than Daniel Solana. How's it going, Solana?
You know, it's been a really tough month for me. I'm not gonna lie. On the home front side, if anybody that is in the Battered Fan Network out there knows of like some santero or somebody that could do a house cleaning or something, like I promise you, I think there's some bad vibes going on in my house, man. With everything going on now, my son is sick. You know, my wife's on crutches. It's been one of those weeks, you know, after the accident. I mean, it's just, you know, piled up one over the other. So if anybody has a santero, I'm looking for you. Now that I got that off my chest, I'm doing pretty good, Chris. Other than that, you know, I'm wearing a new kit. My sister Jackie got it for me on her honeymoon while she was in San Sebastian, Spain. So this is the Real Sociedad kit. It's pretty fresh. I'm not gonna lie, and it's not fake. It's not from the chinos. It's legit from the team store.
Legit kit.
Not $199 either. Not $199. I'll tell you that.
Well, I mean, look, I know that we're trying as best as we can. We're doing all right so far. But a lot of people are basically asking the same question that Judas is asking. Henderson, do something. David Reichert is saying the team is cooked. And yes, we're late, Mr. Krabs. Sorry about that. Life happens.
We had to do some house cleaning in the backstage before we came on. I mean, we had to talk about what we were going to talk about.
Exactly. Yeah. And Danny is in the chat. At least he's with us in chat spirit. Late as always, we're never late outside of post games. Boom, baby. We're timely. Come on, guys. I like it. And Bigote say he likes the kid.
It's fresh, man. I'm not gonna lie. It feels nice.
I'll tell you something. I think a lot of people, you included and me included, I think we need somebody to run some sage around because it's a little tough. It's a little tough in these streets.
I'm taking Sage August 24th. I don't know, you know, if you're gonna be there. You know, we don't know if Danny's gonna be there because of his situation, but I will be there on the 24th. If you're there, I'm gonna take some Sage and we're gonna walk around, you know, Chase Stadium with it because clearly after what happened yesterday, we've had 24 hours to digest and no news in 24 hours.
Well, Gus is bringing up a pretty good point that we talked a little bit about earlier, right, Solana?
We did. This is guys, what Gus is bringing up is what Chris and I were chatting about in the 3 minutes before we got on the show.
Yes. So
we had to get our facts straight.
Exactly. So Gus is stating in the chat, we can still get free agents until the 13th of September. So guys, don't take your panties out of that bunch. There's still a lot of possibilities out there. There's still some players that we can be able to sort of flirt with in the meantime, in between time. So, but I mean, look, the image, as you guys saw, has a lot of players that we were interested in, right? And as you guys could tell so far, and I noticed that the window doesn't close until like 1 a.m. Eastern time. So technically, Henderson could like still be cooking right now.
We know he likes to cook late. He's known for being a late cooker. I don't know if that's a proper phrase, Chris, but
yeah,
he likes to stay up late and cook in the kitchen. So he does have 4 more hours or 3 hours and 53 minutes left on the clock to do something. But again, let's remind the folks that are joining us now on YouTube and also that are joining us on all the other streaming platforms. Let's remind them, like Gus said, and how we were talking about, Inter Miami doesn't need to do anything, today at the end of the day. They don't have to because they can still sign a free agent until September 13th. And we know that, the transfer window in Europe is still open, and it's still a very big possibility that some players might rescind their contracts because they could have some certain dispute or they might not want to go to the team that their team's, thinking about trading them to.
And I'll tell you, that's why I guess it's a good thing that we don't have to sort of panic. Soccer Daddy is saying, where's Madrid fan? Madrid fan, Danny is in the chat. So you can be able to sort of kick it back and forth with him. And then we have the Golf Wong saying he's the overnight chef, speaking in terms of Chef Hendo. Now I want to get a vibe of the chat right now, and then I'll ask you I'll ask you myself, Solana. I want everybody in the chat to type, right? We haven't had anybody other than, I'd say, what, Martinez. So he's the only player that we've obtained throughout this sort of window, right? Other than that, we haven't made any other explosive deals today, and we still have some time. So chat, nervous, yes or no? That's what I want to see in the chat. Are you nervous? Yes or no? So Solana, if you could tell me, are you nervous?
No, I'm not nervous. There was a couple other moves that would have made me change my mind, and up to now they didn't happen, and they don't look like they're going to happen. The major one that everybody had been talking about for the last 7 days was Griezmann to LAFC. That has not been announced yet. Obviously, we've talked about it on shows we've been on. You've talked about it with Danny. We talked about it on the Spanish show. Griezmann going to LAFC would have changed the complete landscape of the MLS this season, and would have probably tilted the favor into the LAFC's territory because of having Bouanga, having Oliver Giroud, who debuted last night, and then Griezmann. Yeah. I mean, that would have been nuts. But taking them out of the equation, the only other team that I think would cause Inter Miami some issue is the team we faced last night, and they've already made their moves. They made one more move today, but they've made their moves. They brought in Andres Herrera to be that right, that right back. They brought in DeJuan James, or sorry, I keep saying James, but DeJuan Jones. Who was there, and you saw Inter Miami still competed with them, and they're still missing, Leo Messi. Which, funny enough, I saw on social media today, people were saying, "Oh, Inter Miami's going to announce
Solana,
Leo Messi as their signing."
I'm gonna step away just for a second. If you could just carry this for the next 5 minutes.
Absolutely, of course I can carry it. But so, like I was saying, it was funny.
Sorry about that.
That these folks, were mentioning, Leo Messi is going to be announced as a signing, and it could. I mean, look, he is kind of like a signing. If you look at this kind of like the NBA season, which most of us follow, and we somehow, can kind of pull an analogy from here to there. When the Heat did it, their big trade, they didn't make one, but it was Terry Rozier, and they didn't do anything in the offseason, and that's what they've announced. Hey, Terry Rozier was a trade that we were going to make. So, look, they've tried to make some moves here and there. We heard some names. We heard Cesar Montes was very close. A lot of folks have said that. It looks like in the Inter Miami front office and his agents couldn't come to an agreement, and he decided to stay in Mexico. And that's probably the only other area that Inter Miami really needs somebody is center back. So why make a signing and spend money, when it's not broken? I mean, you're top of the league still, right?
Well, and that's why. Listen, I mean, if you've noticed in the chat, nobody's nervous aside from Sebastian right here, or Sebas. He's nervous. Scott is nervous. Amanda's nervous. But other than that, nobody else in the chat is really nervous.
I mean, are you nervous?
No, not at all. I mean, look, would it have been nice to get another center back? Absolutely. I think it would have been a great thing to be able to get another center back. I mean, we've been getting center backs, and all of a sudden they just fall over and then die for the next 4 or 5 months or whatever it is, right? So we are sort of missing, especially since people like Sailor aren't getting enough time. Ian Frey is not getting enough time, even though Ian Frey naturally doesn't play like a center back. But I mean, we have a lot of players like Sailor, Frey. I mean, Noah Allen, obviously, he hasn't been getting a lot of time. Every new person that we've obtained, we've been throwing them into the fire next to Aviles. And I mean, we're just hoping that Aviles doesn't get a red card every 2-3 games, because he is I mean, the chances that he gets a red card because of how aggressive he plays is pretty scary. Imagine if Aviles goes down, we're going to be left with a center back that we just got, and then we're going to have what? Kristoff?
Well, I'm running down the list of free agent defenders, right?
Yeah.
And there's still a pretty big list and some decent names. You have Mario Hermoso, who used to play for Atletico de Madrid. You have Joel
Yeah.
Matip, who, played for Liverpool at one point. Mats Hummels, who played for Dortmund. He's a little bit older, but I mean, if you can bring in a Mats Hummels on a cheap contract to come play center back for 5 months, I mean, that's a steal. You're talking about a top player, coming in and playing that. So again, there's still other players, even Serge Aurier, who is a right back. He could, possibly slot in to play maybe a right center back if Tata wants to play three in the back.
Yeah.
There's still options out there available. One name that I'm going to mention, and a lot of folks might remember his name because he is a former U.S. men's national player, is John Brooks. He's only 31 years old. He's played in multiple leagues in Europe. He's a free agent. So again, there's still another month to add a lot of these names that I've mentioned and possibly more that could become free between now and then.
Well, that's the good thing, right? I mean, we still have time until mid-September to be able to get other players. I mean, Danny mentioned a couple names to us a little bit earlier, where he was mentioning, players like Ramos and Roberto. I mean, we could be able to get other players, right? But I mean, I guess time is going to tell. We still got until the end of the night to be able to obtain someone within this free agency window. Aside from that, we can't still be able to pick up players until September 13th. But again, it goes back to what I was mentioning earlier. The good thing is that the consensus here is that a lot of people, they're not nervous at this moment. We're doing pretty well without having to add another piece. Now, obviously, we traded off some money in order to obtain an international spot. So that makes a big difference in terms of the possibility of getting another player that can fill in that international spot, which sort of leads credence to what it is that you were saying and with the players that you were looking at.
Now, the other thing or a spot that Inter Miami could have possibly looked at to reinforce is that center forward spot. They just let Borgelin go over to the European, to a European league. And so there was some rumors in the earlier, part of the week where there was an Argentine player who was currently playing in the third division in Argentina, which is La Federal A. And he was 21-year-old center forward. And it was talk about it on the Discord. I talked to my folks over in Argentina. They haven't heard anything. They think it's kind of weird that Inter Miami would go after a player from there. So again, I'm not saying that they're not going after, but that's who they could possibly, a player like that is who they could possibly target with that international spot and cheap money. Somebody who can, possibly come in without a lot of, fandom, but who can probably, plug in right into the team, similar to what Yannick Bright did.
Well, and I want to mention something here. And speaking of Yannick Bright, Mez is commenting in here saying, we're just like Barcelona. We keep signing players in positions we don't necessarily need. The funny thing is, like I mentioned a couple shows ago, or more than a couple shows back, about the possibility of Bright playing center back, right? I mean, look, if shit hits the fan, I think that we can be able to I mean, if we've been throwing Busquets back there and we really don't want Christoph to see the pitch, there's other people that I'm pretty sure that Tata is willing to put back there over Christoph, so that way we don't have to see him play on the field. So, and Scott Carey's actually agreeing 100% with Mez.
I mean, I don't see why he can't play there. I mean, he obviously does a fantastic job in the midfield, and it's very easy for especially a center defensive mid, somebody who plays a 5, to just slot right back into a center back or even an outside back role. You see a lot of center midfielders, get dragged back to play that right back role. You see that in Sergio Roberto. We've seen that in Ian Frey, with Ian Frey being able to play right back, and center midfield. So it's a spot that is very interchangeable, and a spot where if you're in shape, you could interchange into one of those 3 spots. And yeah, I don't see why Yannick Bright can't play any one of those 3 spots. But the question is, is that really where he's best for your team, where he gives you the most value? And if you can go out there and get another center back to kind of give you that insurance so that you don't have to play Christoph, or you don't have to play Ryan Saylor, then obviously they're better off. And I don't agree with that comment. I mean, we got a good trade for Kamal Miller.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, Kamal Miller was comfy. Kamal Miller was comfy to have. He was consistent. He was comfy. He wasn't the greatest defender, but like he was there. He was defending. But if to me, again, like I was just mentioning, I think that it's just a good thing to be able to see that we're pretty comfortable with what's going on in terms of not accessing anybody throughout this time. Let me go ahead and bring on somebody that's just sitting in the backstage back here. Daniel Granada decided to jump in. Let's go ahead and bring him in here. What's going on, Daniel? Your microphone is a little weird. It's not the good microphone. You sound like you're in a cave or something now, and that's what happens when you jump in like that. And look at and you know what the worst part is look at the jersey you decided to wear.
The show wasn't fun enough without him.
I see that Chris got Solana got, was that Real Sociedad? Just randomly throwing that on there?
Well, my sister, went on her honeymoon and she purchased it for me at the team store. I mentioned to Chris it wasn't $199. It's the legit official one, and I'm sporting it on the show. Big shout out to my sister.
That's pretty cool. I happen to be a kit aficionado also. We were talking about it on the Discord actually, about how a few of us actually like to collect a lot of jerseys. So yeah, and I mean I had a Rocket. I mean, you guys saw it today, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean I saw about it too.
Well, that's the most underrated player on the team for sure. And but you know what? That's the one thing I think is kind of weird about European soccer, though. I think like the very first game that Mbappe ever plays for Real Madrid, and it's for a trophy. I think it's so weird to the way soccer works with all these tournaments and trophies just randomly throughout the year. But anyway, how's it going, guys? You guys nervous? Nothing going on?
Well, we just went over that, and I'm not nervous. And almost everybody in the chat is not nervous. Solana?
Not nervous. I mean,
we're Gucci.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something that made me a little nervous? Maybe nervous isn't the word, but that I thought was a little weird. When we signed Messi and all his friends, the thing was everybody wants to come play with them. Didn't this kid from Mexico decide not to come? Isn't it supposed to be the selling point? Like, hey, you get to play with Messi? He's like, nah, I'm good.
Well,
I'm good.
There's a little bit of a difference there. There's not a lot of love between the two countries. Yeah. I think it's a little bit different. I think if it would have been somebody from Argentina, somebody from Brazil, somebody from South America, it would have been a little bit different. Yeah, I don't think other than Sebas Crackball, which we know and we have on the Spanish show very often. I don't know a lot of Mexicans who are like diehard Messi fans.
Yeah, I can see that, but still, like when I saw it, he's like he just decided that he doesn't want to come. And I was like, damn, like wasn't Messi supposed to be like the ultimate selling point? So that caught me off guard. And again, not nervous, not disappointed or anything, but just surprised, I guess is the best way I could put it.
I'm actually glad.
Listen, I'm not nervous. I know that you mentioned other people that we can possibly be able to get, but I think that, first of all, I think that Saylor would be a better fit than a lot of people think. I think that Saylor would be better than Kristoff. and I think Ian Frey would be better than Saylor. Let me just put that out there. I do think Ian Frey would be better than Saylor, but if you're going to go with somebody that plays that position, right, is set at that position at center back, then I don't see why we don't play Saylor and just kind of see what he can be able to help us with, on the pitch.
Yeah, look, Saylor is a depth piece, maybe like the fifth center back. You know why I'm not worried? Like
I'm going to step out just for a moment.
All right, go for it. All right, you know why I'm not very worried? If I were to tell you, Solana, and obviously ifs and buts are pointless, right, when you're talking sports, but whatever, I'm going to put a hypothetical out there. If I could guarantee you health for this roster right now, Messi included, everybody, do you not think we could win it all?
100%. 100%. And that's exactly what I told Chris before when he asked me if I was nervous. I said, no, the only way I would have been nervous is if Griezmann to LAFC would have happened. That's the only thing that would have made me think twice. Because as it stands right now, I know Inter Miami hasn't added a piece other than David Martinez, but they're sitting atop of the league. They were up 2-0, missing their best player and their starting center back against the defending champions. And yeah, they lost yesterday 3-2, but you got to take, a step back from the game yesterday, take off your fan hat for 2 seconds and analyze it correctly and say, hey, you have what it takes to play with them. You're just 1 or 2 subs off from, winning that game and possibly going on and winning a cup. So no, man, I'm not nervous at all. And again, they got a month, man. They got a month to make a signing. As long as the player's a free agent, and there's a lot of free agents on the market.
There are, and what you're looking for is depth at this point, because I think you solidified your 2 starters, right? Your 2 starters are Martinez and Aviles. That's it. Those are your 2 go-to guys. If they can stay healthy, that's who's going to start always. Another reason I feel confident, even though Tata has made me question the confidence I have in this, I feel like Frey is a great backup at center back also. But he hasn't utilized them there. But I feel like we are okay. If you use Frey as a backup, if one of those first 2 get injured or a suspension or whatever it may be, I feel comfortable with their backup in Ian Frey. The fact that he hasn't played him there does worry me. But I would hope that if your hand is forced, you stop experimenting with Noah Allen, even though Noah Allen, again, has played well when he's been put there for what he, for his size and what he can do. But Ian Frey, I think, would fit in there perfectly. I don't see why they don't use him more there when you need to, instead of a Christoph, instead of a Busquets. If they start using him at center back, I feel confident in this team moving forward, even if they don't get any other signings.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but remember, Tata's been asked this multiple times throughout his tenure with Inter Miami. Why do you keep insisting with Noah Allen at center back? Why, is Frey not playing center back and is he playing right back? And he's mentioned that that's what he sees them as. And you have to, I mean, look, you and I are not at the practices. Unfortunately, I'm banned. You're not. You don't go. But, so
I choose not to go.
Right, you choose not to go, and I'm not allowed to go. So essentially, I can't tell you guys what happens at practice. I wish I could. If they would allow me to go, I would go and I would tell you guys what happened at practice. But I'm not allowed. So I can only trust that what Tata and his assistant coaches are looking at is that they're putting the right players in. Obviously, you have to think, what's going on with Ryan Saylor? Why does that guy never play? I mean, is he that bad that Christoph plays over him? And I don't think that the answer is yes.
Yeah, I don't think he's that bad.
So I mean, I don't know. It's a little perplexing that some of these guys don't play. And I'm with you, Danny. I would love to see a Toto Frey pairing. I feel like the speed between those 2 guys there would be fantastic.
Well, look, I think that if he were to get on the pitch, I think that Frey, I think that depth-wise, we are okay at center back. And I mean, really, across the board, when you look at this roster, maybe a backup striker, but when you look at this roster, outside of center back, do you not feel confident in just about every position? I mean, we have Campana still, so I feel like we're okay at. Campana is a solid backup striker in the MLS. That's a good backup striker. I'm sorry. You go across the league, look at backup strikers. For all the crap we talk about Campana because of his DP designation, taking that aside, he is a solid backup.
But I mean, aside from him being a solid backup, I guess you would say a solid backup, but he's getting paid DP money. Right. So like, is he really, I mean, he's a solid backup if you're paying him a Happy Meal with a Frosty.
Well, but my point is, once the transfer window closes, don't worry about who's a DP or what somebody's making, because at this point, like, it doesn't really matter, because we're not going to take that money and sign anybody else, maybe a free agent. But that DP designation at this moment, now that the transfer window is closed, It no longer matters. So just look at everybody for what it is, for the position that they play. And the position that he plays is backup striker. And I'm pretty good with him being the backup striker when Luis Suarez is starting. I'm good at right wing. I'm good at left wing. In the midfield, I feel like we're stacked. Like, it's a good problem to have because we have so many players that a lot of them don't even get playing time. At left back, we have Alba and Negri. Like, I can't imagine. Negri could probably start at left back for half the league, maybe even more.
Absolutely. And Ian Frey could start. Ian Frey could start for half the league as well. Robert Taylor would start. Robert Taylor would start for half the league. We have
Kremaki.
We have a lot of players that are sitting on the bench. And let me finish my point before you get to your Solana, because I know you were chomping at the bit. But we have a lot of players that are sitting on our bench that essentially would be starting for more than half the league. So go ahead, Solana.
Yet we have fans sitting on social media and talking and crying because they're not winning trophies. And this, I mean, guys,
that's ultimately what it is, though.
I get it, Danny. But these are the same people that were probably crying that the team stunk back 3 years ago. So you got, at some point you got to pick your poison. Like, we're going out there. You get to watch beautiful football almost every single game. Even if they lose, you felt like there was a chance that they were going to win. You go into every single week thinking Inter Miami is going to win. Do we not? Every single week. Yeah. Doesn't matter where we play. 2 years ago, you could have not said that. 2 years ago, it was like, oh, Atlanta away? Nah, no way. It's not going to happen. Or, Orlando City, oh my God. Now it's like, dude, who are those guys? So
I get it, but I think that a lot has come with those expectations. And I don't mean just on the pitch. I mean as far as pricing goes, as far as first right of refusal for tickets, barking, the new fans. And here on this show, at least, we kind of welcome everybody, right? We love that everybody joined us. But let's be real. Chris, Solana is an Inter Miami fan, but that's not his number one club. Nacional is his number one club. But for me and Chris, that's our number one club.
Absolutely.
It does suck when people that came here for Messi start like telling us like, hey, your team is shit without Messi. It's like, well, fuck you. Stop watching us.
They're not, though.
Because you're insulting. But I know. But what I'm saying is that you're insulting our club, like, because that's my club. And if we went and insulted your club, you would be annoyed also. So I understand why some people is like, you know what, all this crap that came with this, plus we're not getting trophies. I get it to an extent, but I'm happy with it and I'll take it because I'd rather be leading in the supporter shield right now than when we were losing 7 in a row with Phil Neville at the helm. So I'd rather be here.
That's my point. While yes, you can be critical of Tata and critical of the players and say, hey, yes, they constructed a roster to win everything and they haven't won anything. And if they don't win anything, is it a failure? I think the three of us have all agreed that, yeah, the season is a failure. But at the end of the day, like, wasn't it a beautiful season up to now? Haven't you had fun at the games? Whereas 2 years ago, you would you had
I had fun also, but
you had a 1 hour drive to the stadium where you were like, "Ooh, is it going to be Pellegrini today? Is Higuain going to miss 3 goals? Is Carranza coming in?" I mean, that's but that was the reality you were facing, and
Lewis Morgan was a beast.
Yeah, he was the only consistent.
Yeah, but that's what it was. I mean, now and not only that, you would get to the stadium. And it was like, all right, is there going to be 5,000 today? Is there going to be 18,000 today? Mm-hmm. I mean, you just never knew. Now, there's an atmosphere already built around the stadium where if you go to most of the games, you already know like what the atmosphere you're going to expect. Like you're going to smell the choripans outside. You're going to see the guys selling milanesas. You're going to see everybody coming at you with the $15 Messi hat. 50. I mean, that's awesome. You didn't have any of that before.
Well, and I want to mention something because it's like Danny was saying, right? Having fun at the stadium before Messi came, right? It was really good. It was still fun. It was a good experience, especially for a lot of people who were fans of the club that go to support the club, right? I think that the biggest difference here is that now, obviously, we have a ton of quality on the pitch. So it makes it more entertaining in the sense of like more competitive, more opportunities of to score. You see better quality football on the pitch. So I think in that sense, it has gotten better. Obviously, I think the experience is amplified because of the quality that's coming into the team. So yeah, I mean, was it there before? Yeah, at a lower sort of level, but I think it's still there. It's just obviously amplified because you have so many people that are supporting, not just because of the club, but because of certain players. So, and then it's like what we said earlier. At the end of the day, we still have a lot of players that are sitting on the bench that would start in a lot of teams.
Well,
You were gonna say?
Chris, I gave you the option, right?
Yeah.
We keep our small fan base with Phil Neville and fighting to maybe make the playoffs, or you have new fans of Inter Miami, some of them insulting Inter Miami, but you're the best team in the league. Which one are you taking?
I'm taking the latter. I'm taking being the best
sure.
team in the league. And look, at the end of the day, Danny, I want you guys to understand something, and everybody in the chat, I want you guys to understand something. Before I went to watch a game, I hated soccer. I did not want to see one lick of soccer. Danny said, come with me to a game. I went to a game with him, and I fell in love. Boom. Got season tickets. Boom. Got invested. Boom. And now here I am doing a podcast talking about football for a team that I really wasn't interested in, back in 2018 or 2019. I am the fan that this team is trying to convert. And they were able to convert me without Messi. Imagine how many people they are converting today, and even when Messi leaves.
Well, and it's funny because, and I don't know how this conversation ended up going this way, but whatever. It's funny because I was talking to Mike Longan, because me and him like to argue all the time. Shout out to him. He was telling me, like, this all sucks because when Messi leaves, all the fans leave. First of all, I don't think all the fans leave. Some of them might, but I think some of them will stay. I hope a lot of the people here stay, right? But I have an old coworker that moved to Philadelphia. And she would send me a message telling me when I was trying to give away tickets for that game last week or whenever it was, and I was trying to give away tickets, she messaged me, said she would have loved to take them if she was still here in Miami because her son has fallen in love and become obsessed with Messi. Therefore, is now obsessed with Inter Miami. Now, I understand that the obsession started with Messi, but now he's following Inter Miami. The kid is 7 years old. Mm-hmm. Once Messi leaves, he's going to keep his love of soccer. And guess who his team is going to continue to be from an age of 7 till he gets to who knows how old he's going to be. It's Inter Miami. What we're starting here is the grassroots, as all Americans love to say, grassroots. We're starting a grassroots love of Inter Miami with the young kids. They're growing up, whether it be Messi or whatever reason, they are now not just following the Dolphins and the Heat. They're now like, oh, you know what? Soccer's pretty cool. I like this guy Messi. This is our team. This is who I'm starting to watch locally. And this is going to continue to grow also. So this is a good thing. So for everybody that's talking all the crap about how this sucks and everybody's going to leave, this is going to help the team in the long run.
Look, I know you guys sometimes bash me for kind of being a fan, not being a fan or whatever, but I'll put it to you like this. My 3-year-old son wakes up in the morning and says, Papa, can we play video games? Yo soy Inter Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And we play FIFA. 3 years old. And we play, and he plays. Like, he gets, and I'm like, X, and he plays with me. Like, he loves, and last night when the game was on, he did not want to go to bed. He wanted to stay and watch the game. Like, he just loves it. And that's what it's all about, like, at the end of the day. And if you have a good product on the field, people are going to show up, and you're going to have more fans. I mean, you're wearing the jersey of the example, Danny. They construct a good team, a good product on the field, and they're probably the most popular club in the entire world.
I did see somebody say that they wanted to Miami to dominate the way Real Madrid did. Somebody in the chat said that earlier. The difference is, and the reason I like the MLS is because you can't do that because of the salary cap. And I know Solana hates that because he rather just have one team that just kicks everybody's ass all year. But I kind of like that, right? Like the fact that Columbus beat us yesterday, yeah, that sucks. but you'll see that more often than not in that MLS because of the salary. Like you don't have these overloaded rosters like Man City and Real Madrid that go ahead and just beat everybody's ass. And I kind of like that. So yeah.
Well, and just to sort of circle this back into the whole transfer talk, and
yeah.
right.
Thank you.
At the end of I think that the reason we got into this conversation is because we were talking about a lot of the players that were here before Messi that we had that are quality players that would be starting players in more than half the teams. And the good thing is that a lot of those players are going to be here to stay, so you can be able to support them. And the good thing is that a lot of us, all us three included, and a lot of the people in the chat, we're pretty comfortable with where we're at the moment without having to light up the transfer market. And that's considering that we still have an opportunity in mid-September or before to be able to make a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
And you still have Messi coming back.
And you still have Messi, who hasn't been playing, and we've been winning without Messi.
It's funny enough. I think somebody, and I don't remember. Oh, not now. I was on a podcast yesterday with Fabian Renkel and Will from MLS Moves. We were watching the game and on a podcast, and Fabian said, "Wow, I can't believe that Suarez hadn't played an away game before yesterday since like May something like 93 days." And then we were like, "Well, I can't even remember the last time Messi played. Messi hasn't played in like 3 months either
Since June 1st. June 1st against St. Louis was the last time he played.
So I mean, so it's almost like you start to forget because of how well this team has played. Yeah. And so I mean, agreeing with you, Chris, and you haven't really chimed in on that side if you're happy with what's going on or if you would have expected something, Danny. But I'm okay with where they're at, and I'm okay with them waiting the next 15, 20 days to see if somebody opens up that wasn't open today.
I wanted a center back. We got David Martinez, but I wanted two. I want depth because David Martinez, although he's played well, he came with an injury history, which is the other reason we didn't want Rafael Varane, which, by the way, made his debut just a day or two ago and already left the first game like 20 minutes in with an injury. Yeah. I hate picking up players that have this injury history. David Martinez is already out. That's my worry. I said if our team is fully healthy, I feel pretty confident. But that's a big if, especially with this team.
Yeah, but he's out because of a wanky, red card that because of some
right. It's not an injury, but what I'm saying is, with his injury history,
if he goes down,
that was the issue with Freire, his injury history, and he played great. We felt confident, got injured, we're back to square one. David Martinez. Do you feel confident that he's going to hold up for 3 months? Because we need him for the rest of August and September, October and November. Because if we're going to make the MLS Cup, it's all in November. And then we play that final, if we were to make the final on December 7th, my wedding anniversary. So we need him for a little over 3 months to stay healthy. Do you feel confident that? Yeah. I don't.
I'll tell you this, and I don't want to jinx it, so this is me not jinxing it. But I'm more confident with him missing more games due to yellow card accumulation or red card than I would be for him missing time for injuries.
And Amanda makes a great point here. No, we need depth between his injuries and Toto's red cards. That's another one. That he just accumulates yellow cards like crazy.
Didn't Christoph and Noah Allen beat Columbus Crew a month and a half ago?
Yeah, okay. Well, if you want to rely on that to make it all the way to the finals, for sure. But all in all, it's a disappointing transfer window because I did think that we were going to get another center back.
Yes.
Now there was some decent moves over the last few hours. I saw Joe Acchini or Joe Acchini, whatever his name is. He got picked up on a loan by FC Cincinnati, so they got themselves a striker. I saw
Ariel Lassiter went to Chicago.
I saw that as well. I saw Columbus picked up another player. So, I mean, no huge splashes like everybody expected.
Marco
Ruiz, but he was already.
His thing isn't final yet, but it hasn't finalized yet. That's what I'm saying. Like everybody's wondering if it's going to happen because it hasn't happened yet, and I think time is running out.
They got 3 hours and 17 minutes.
Yep.
Is that 1:00 Western time? I don't know when exactly it ends.
Well, it's
Chris-
until 1 a.m. Eastern time, midnight Central time.
Okay. So okay. Well,
Yeah.
they're running out of time, so they got to figure that out. Even though I believe player and team already agreed on the paperwork, so I'm sure that it'll get done. Well, I guess you guys already answered it, but I'll ask it to the chat, and maybe if one of you guys want to jump in. Is there a team after transfer window's over, knowing more or less what the roster is going to be, right? Maybe a free agent here or there, but what team would worry you the most? I'm asking the chat, and if you guys, me, LAFC still. LAFC is the team that I would most be worried about. They are second in Supporter Shield. That's the team that would worry me, running into them in the final.
I mean, I think you got to be worried about getting out of your conference first, guys. And to get out of your conference, you've got two teams who when they have a star player. Yeah, but when they have Acosta, they're a different animal. So, depending on which one that's why Danny home field advantage is so important, because you don't want to have to go out and play Cincinnati away. And maybe why you're growing on me when it comes to winning the Croqueta play.
No, we have to. It's 9 games. Like, you got to go all in on these 9 games.
Yes. I mean, Amanda's here saying in the chat Cincinnati and LAFC, and everybody else is just saying LAFC. I mean, you got a sprinkle of Columbus here and there.
Columbus, I know. Ty was talking shit to me because he's like, "How the hell are you gonna say that you're not scared of us when we just put up 3 on your head in like 10 minutes?"
3 on your head.
But well, no, he doesn't talk like that. I said that, but
I know.
But I don't know, man. After seeing the way we've played them twice now over the last month, without Messi and without our two starting center backs, I think we could beat them, especially at home. Now, I might eat my words, but I think we could beat them. I'm not too worried about them.
I mean, we almost beat them away yesterday without Messi. So, I mean, like, I'm again.
How many games have we lost with Messi?
With him,
I'm gonna have to look that up. I think it's only been 2.
Monterrey, Atlanta at home. That's the only home game, which was weird as hell. That Atlanta game, I'll never understand that game. But Atlanta at home, Monterrey, and Charlotte last year, right? Have we lost any more games with Messi playing? I don't think so. I think we've only lost 3 games. So 2 MLS lost. Yeah, 2 MLS teams is what we've lost to when he starts. Let me specify, because he's come in as a sub. As a starter, we've lost 2 games with Messi, I believe, against MLS teams. Anybody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I'm correct. When Messi plays, this is another animal. And when you say it's another animal, considering the fact how well we've played since he's been gone, LAFC maybe. I think we'll dick kick everybody else.
So just before we end the show here, so what you're saying is, with that jersey you're wearing, we could play better without Messi. No. That's what you just said. That's what you just said, kind of.
That's what I said.
No. It sounds like you said we don't need Messi.
That's what. That's nowhere near what I said.
I'm just trying to see if I light some fire in the chat here.
Nah, I think he's trying to get into the Matrix. That's what he's trying to do. You gotta pick up your phone.
He's not gonna get into the Matrix because he doesn't even know about that.
You got to pick up your phone, and he's got to pick up his phone. He doesn't know about that.
Yeah, pick up your phone, guy. You know what? No, Danny, get out.
What's going on, Florida, man? Well, I am going to get out, actually, because I need to start getting ready for Battered Herons en Español at 10 o'clock. So if you guys want to keep rolling, I jumped on because I know Chris was having some issues, so I jumped on real quick. But I'm putting it in the chat real quick, the link for Battered Herons en Español. I'll be on with Xavi talking about the game yesterday. So if you guys want to tune in. And also, just a reminder, tomorrow, we're going to choose the winner of the Miami Fusion scarf. And all you have to do to enter to win the Miami Fusion scarf is you go ahead and you subscribe to the Spanish channel. And tomorrow, because I saw David in the chat, and David, I know we didn't talk about it now, but tomorrow we're going to address it. We do a Battered MLS fan show also. And tomorrow we will be talking about the rumors or possibly the official hire of the new U.S. men's national team coach, which has been rumored around. For those of you out here that didn't hear, it will be a foreign coach possibly from Argentina, but we'll get into the specifics tomorrow.
Not Tata Martino.
Not that
After that masterclass yesterday. No?
So there's the link for the Spanish show. Will be going on at 10 o'clock. And this is the link for the Battered MLS Fan Show. Go ahead and subscribe to both of those. Join us in the Spanish show at 10 o'clock. And I'm going to see my way out while you guys finish up here. All right.
Well, I mean, that's basically it.
F Barcelona. You guys running?
Yeah.
That Matrix comment just hit him, man. Hit him too hard. He had to go.
Man.
I got to get off.
He told me to get out, so I was going to get out and let you guys finish up. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we were going to gas bag, so.
Yeah.
You gas bag about what? The Matrix?
Maybe.
Hey,
or any of the other Keanu Reeves classics.
absolutely.
I mean,
Name me a classic outside of the Matrix.
The Replacements?
The Replacements is number one.
It's
Speed.
It's not even the best sport. It's not even top 5 sports movie of all time.
No, you don't even know what you're talking about. You don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay, look, I'm gonna randomly go on Google, and I'm gonna.
I can't believe we're doing this.
Sports movies of all time. Let's see if The Replacements pops up.
I mean, of course,
anyway.
you know what's gonna come up. It's gonna be what's the Denzel Washington movie?
What? It's not number one.
I mean, come on.
It's not.
It's a comedy. It's a rom-com.
Oh, but you said it was
It's a
number one.
rom-com. Hold on, let me see. I want to see top 10.
What was number one?
You got me lit up. Top 10.
We got
sports
Rocky,
movies.
Raging Bull, Bull Durham.
Oh no, Rocky is a
Foxcatcher.
sports movie. I mean, I guess.
Of course, it's a sports movie. You got A League of Their Own,
I don't know.
Slapshot, $1 Million Baby, Field of Dreams,
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't
you're
know about
missing
that. I don't know about
Missing a
that.
got
bunch of great
Game.
movies, man.
Miracle, Moneyball.
I mean, who's
Love and
making these
Basketball.
lists? I mean, there's
Hoosiers.
people like
I-
you.
I promise you, I click on 30 of these. The Replacements won't be top 10 in any of them.
All right, so let's get one thing straight here. It's a rom-com, baby. Okay, you're not gonna get rom-coms in a top 10 for sports.
Well, hold on a
movies.
second. You're going to tell me Fever Pitch is not in the top 10? Like, come on.
Well, I just looked at a list that had top
Excellent.
50. Nowhere there. Talladega Nights, I bet you is better than that crap that you were just talking about.
I mean, Talladega
Oh,
Nights is
no.
also a fantastic movie.
It is. It's the Sandlot,
that
better
is
than The
a-
Replacements.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, but Sandlot's a classic. Sandlot's a
Sandlot-
classic.
And The Replacements is not.
Sandlot's the Replacements is a classic.
Look,
No,
any
it's not.
movie, easy. Any movie that plays I Will Survive and you're doing literally the electric slide is a goddamn
Oh
classic.
my gosh, come on! I mean, you got
It's
the
a
Devil's
classic.
Advocate,
Rudy.
with Keanu Reeves. You got Hardball.
Miracle?
What's that
You like
other
hockey?
one with Denzel?
Hold on. Ultimate classic.
Oh, the Titans. Remember the
Like
Titans?
Beckham.
Remember
Bend
the
It Like
Titans, of
Beckham.
course. Yeah.
No, Bend It Like Beckham was horrible.
What are you talking about? Wait, you don't support women's soccer?
I do, but that was a bad
I
movie.
know.
I do, but that was a bad
Hey,
movie.
and you know what, Danny? Just so you know, Keanu Reeves was in Toy Story Part 4.
Oh,
Right? He was one of the best
Yeah.
characters there. So
He
let's
did.
not go there. Let's not go there.
He
Yeah,
was.
no, you're right. You're right. He was. What was it? Duke Kaboom. But he had that
Duke
stupid
Kaboom.
monotone voice.
Duke Kaboom. Get out of here.
That's why he had how many lines did he have in that movie? Like 10?
100. Get out.
Nope.
Street Kings, great movie. The Day the Earth Stood Still, great. All the Matrix ones, great.
John Wick. All the John Wicks
Oh,
have been
come on.
fantastic.
I mean, what are we doing here, Danny?
He
Come
was
on,
also.
man.
I
John
want
Wick's
to throw it
a
out
horrible
there
movie.
for those of you that are not Disney fans, or I don't know, maybe you like SpongeBob. He was also in the SpongeBob movie. So this guy's been on. I mean, he's also made you cry in that rom-com where it was about I think it was called Instant Family, where he was in it with Winona Ryder, and he made you cry in that movie. Hardball, he makes you cry in that movie. Come on, man, this guy's an all-around actor, an all-time favorite.
Put that comment back up. Stancy saying, Danny used to be my fave on this podcast, but now he's dropped to third. Look at you, Danny. I'm gonna tell you another actor who's super unappreciated, and you probably don't like him, Danny. John Cusack.
Fantastic. fantastic.
I can't
Look at
put a
that.
face
Danny's
to the
already
name.
shaking
I can't
his
put.
head.
I can't. I
Get
know. I
out.
can't put a face
Get
to the
out.
name.
Get out. The best movie of all time. I'm telling you right now. And if any of you haven't watched it, you need to watch it like right after the Spanish podcast. Is Identity.
Ho, ho, ho.
The best ending of movies of all time. You're not getting a better ending than Identity. I'm telling you right now.
This guy always plays the weird, creepy role in movies, though. Always. He's got that weird, creepy role. Even in 2012, where he was like the hero, he was
Nicolas
still just a weird
Cage.
guy.
Nicholas, that's another one. Oh my gosh.
I mean,
John Cusack.
Even John Travolta has had some great hits. I mean, I'm gonna, throwing that out there.
John Travolta isn't bad.
Everybody hates you, Danny. Everybody hates you. We need to end the show before we lose people.
No,
Because
we lost like 25 people just talking about this.
Thanks. Good job, Danny. Good job. Good job. You just lost a quarter of our fan base.
All right. Well, and then I had one real quick question, just real quick. Is there any song that when it comes on in the radio when you're driving that you have to just get into it?
Victory.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah. Victory with Biggie and Busta Rhymes.
Yeah. That's a good one. I can see that.
Yeah.
I already got my blood
and
pumping.
It builds up. And it builds up. Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm curious in the chat if anybody.
I got two,
Are you
man.
kidding me? Call me maybe.
Really?
Okay.
I got two.
Okay.
The first one is Cielo de un solo color.
Never heard of it.
From No Te Va Gustar. It's a Uruguayan rock band.
Okay.
That's my jam. And the other one, believe it or not, is the intro to Ted Lasso. Whenever I hear that, for some reason,
It's a good one.
I just love it. I kind of, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. After Mike told me yesterday that his son, thought that I was Coach Beard, I went back, I looked at pictures again, and I'm trying to learn some of his favorite lines so I can drop them on you at here once in a while. I also need to go buy some Guinness.
What's yours, Danny?
For me, it's the Isley Brothers, "Contagious."
Oh, that's a good song.
Yeah, man. I can't help but get into it. You just get into that. That's the song for me.
Rough Riders, love that Florida man.
Yeah. But the "Contagious" song, that I can't help but get into. I get into character.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's enough.
Yeah, let's end the show before we lose everybody. All right. Well,
if you are listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us 5 stars, comment, review, all that good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. And for those of you in the chat, as always, you guys are the best part of the show. Tomorrow, no call-ins today, JP. We got the Spanish show at 10 o'clock. But if you want, you can join us in the Spanish show at 10 o'clock. I put the link on there a second ago, so just click on that and you can watch that. And we'll be back at 10 o'clock in Spanish. So I think that's about it. Oh, and if you guys want to talk about, because I saw David kept putting about the U.S. Men's National Team Club, we're going to be Battered MLS fans tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, so you can join us for that. So with that said, we'll close it out. Until the next one, have a good one.